Black magic has ancient roots among many cultures. It was practiced for influence, protection, and let's be honest, a bit of fear mongering is involved in black magic. In African traditions, for example, rituals, charms, and curses were often tied to community power. That's how we came together as people. If we do this, we will stay protected. If we don't do this, we won't upset the gods. So superstition and magic have served as answers and solace to whatever could not be explained by our ancestors. But for some reason, football teams today still believe in the use of juju. Some call it juju, some call it muti, some call it voodoo, but we're gonna call it black magic.
Walk into the change room. So I'm finished with my warm as we goalkeepers do. We finish our warm-ups before the rest of the team, and off I go. I go back in the change room, and as I open the door, I just see smoke everywhere, and I see a fire in the corner of the change room. And my first thought was, go and look for the fire extinguisher, and I see it. And I race to it, and I grab it off the wall, and as I'm about to start extinguishing, I get tackled from behind, like a proper tackle. And I go, the change room's burning down, we've got to put the fire out. And my special projects guy says to me, don't worry, this is to help you. Just forget about it. And I could not believe it. I literally sat there going, then I realized what special projects means.
It's not unusual for some teams to travel with a quote-unquote special guy, a medicine guy, but not necessarily for the health of the players, but for magic. And these medicine men do more than just offer up a little prayer for the team. They perform rituals. They bury bones on the field. They burn objects, and you have to inhale some of that smoke that comes out. And sometimes they apply human blood on players. Like this European coach who told a story about a team that he coached in Africa. He said, before an African Champions League match, my team had the liquid of 3 dead people painted on their arms and legs. The smell was cruel. But we won the game, and the medicine man was sure it was thanks to his magic. This famous clip from Rwanda is a typical example of black magic use. So a goalkeeper put some juju on his goal line before the game. The opposition striker kept missing some easy chances, and when he noticed the juju, he grabbed it and threw it away. And 3 minutes later, the striker scored. Okay, that was funny.
Football can kill you. Will kill you a real death. You will die because of football.
Which leads me to one of my biggest questions about black magic use. Where do they get these guys? How do you get your medicine man, your sangoma, your traditional healer? How do you know he's legit? Let's say, for example, you've got this guy, he's a typical sangoma. What do those guys do? Okay, he's gonna tell you that one of your aunts bewitched you, and then you go home angry at them. And then he's gonna give you some dirty brown wooden stick and with instructions on what to do with it, And then once in a while, he's gonna cure the drop. If you happen to walk into a volcano, the guys know what I'm talking about. So how does a guy like that become a football wizard? I mean, you can't just get some guy with red skulls around his head. There's gotta be some criteria in which you, the big team, separate the good wizards from the bad wizards, right? Do the Sangomas have like a win, draw, lose record? And if so, who keeps their records? Do they have any certification, any paperwork, you know? And who keeps their records? How do we know this guy is legit, you know? And for which league? I mean, there's no way that a third division team, Sangoma, gets to be employed by a premiership team. If its team was that good, it should have been in the premiership already, you know. And let's be honest, there's a lot of sometimes it's just a bunch of nonsense wrapped in smoke and mirrors, you know. And I wonder how some of these Sangomas explain it when the team loses.
That's why they must you buy that's why you must you like it for the Pirates. I'm very tired for the always these people. You seem like a people. They must show me what is happening for the Pirates. Pirates is not one skipper. For the must show you for the five skippers. Must always put you one thought. Okay, good enough.
When we were growing up, they'd say, well, oh, you know, Muti doesn't work if it crosses the ocean. You know, the ocean washes out the black magic, and that's why Collins Mbesuma flopped when he went to Portsmouth or Fulham, whichever team he went to. And his Muti evaporated. but here's the thing. The World Cup literally came to Africa in 2010. So that means that when it comes to the use of black magic, the World Cup on African soil would be the litmus test, right? The ultimate test of whether or not black magic works in football. We had 6 African teams: South Africa, Ghana, Ivory Coast, Cameroon, Algeria, and Nigeria. We were rooting for most of these teams. So that will mean that we take it, right? It's gonna be South Africa, Ghana, and whoever, 4 African teams in the semi-finals, with our mighty black magic getting us the first African world champion. But it was never the case. Bafana got moored in the group stages, couldn't get through. Diego Forlan probably still haunts Kune in his dreams somewhere. Algeria ended up with just 1 point in their group. Cameroon ended their group without a point. Cameroon with Samuel Eto'o, Alex Song and the likes, scoring just 2 games in 3 games. And okay. And Ivory Coast did their best, but they couldn't get out of a very, very tough group involving Brazil and CR7's Portugal. So that left us with Ghana as our only hope, right? And for that moment, all of Africa became Ghana.
Any tribe has its own magic. Any village has its own magic. Any region has its own magic. So when all these magicians, they become together, then they begin to pray for the success, for the lion. Nobody can drop them down.
So at this point, all the voodoo, all the black magic, all the sangomas, all the inyangas, all the jujus are behind Ghana. We are all using our mighty powers to get Ghana to win the World Cup, to get Ghana over the line. And this is what happened.
Well, you couldn't have a more dramatic finish to a World Cup match than this one. Asamoah Gyan has the opportunity to send Ghana into the semi-finals of the World Cup. And he hits the bar! Unbelievable. What a miss. And all of a sudden, Suarez's mood has changed again.
Sports should be about continuous improvement in tactics, technique, fitness and mindset. And teams that have treated sports like a science continue to prove this year after year. The most successful players are those that have trained and prepared for long periods of time. In 2014, a Ghanaian witch doctor made headlines when he famously claimed to have cursed Cristiano Ronaldo before the World Cup. And we all know Ronaldo was fine to play. He even scored in the 2014 World Cup. But that statement alone showed the quintessential flaw in the belief of black magic in sports. Black magic is generally meant to destroy or hurt the intended opponent, and in that way helping uplift the supposed user, So the mindset of miraculous outcomes without trying to match your competitor in all those qualities is just not a winning formula. So while one can argue that the psychological edge that the belief in the use of black magic and witch doctors and jujus can give someone, black magic's on-field results for African teams have proven to be giving diminishing returns.